Hey guys, it's Rich Boy J here, backing in with another video, and this is going to be the Crait MOC build series, part 21. By the time you guys see this, I'm going to be in California. I'm actually going to Legoland Star Wars Days this weekend, which is why this episode is being pre-recorded earlier in the week. I didn't get a ton of work done, but some of the stuff that I did do will actually be very useful in moving forward with the MOC, mainly getting a lot of the ground sections for the inner caves done, as well as kind of manipulating that mountain on that side to more closely resemble this one right here. I saw a lot of positive feedback from the MOC at the convention, but one of the things that I noticed I was getting a lot was that the mountains looked like they were made by two different people using two different styles. So I thought Garrett's style looked a little bit better than what I came up with, which meant that I had to kind of take some of the pieces off of mine and make it look less clustered and more random, and I think that it worked out for the better. As you can see behind me, the mountains are looking pretty freaking cool. So let's go ahead and jump into the MOC, guys. Now I'm sure the first thing you guys will notice that it appears negative progress has been done on the MOC, and that's only because I actually have not unpacked everything from the last convention we went to. I just have been kind of busy, and the ATM-6 is actually still sitting saran wrapped on this floor next to me because I actually got to take that to a convention this weekend, so thought it didn't really make sense to put that back up. But moving forward to the things that were actually done to make the MOC better in this past week, first thing you guys will notice is the change of the mountain section on that left side. So Garrett kind of built this one up, and then I quickly assembled that one over there and realized that they stylistically just didn't really match up. I'll go ahead and put up a picture of what that one looked like before, and you guys can see that it looks very clustered. It doesn't look as random and sporadic as this one does over here. So I decided to change it up a little bit, and I think that it definitely worked out for the better. The mountains look more similar to each other. They're obviously, you know, like not perfect copies of each other, but they look more random and like they were kind of made with the same style and with the same ideas in mind. So with that, I am very pleased with the fact that they look like they belong together now. And I think that moving forward, we're probably going to use that technique for the mountains that go over the door. So just to be perfectly clear, a lot of people have been asking me about, you know, what's the situation with the mountains? Are they going to get taller? What exactly is going to happen with them? For one, I do want to state that the door is definitely going to get taller. In fact, the door will probably end up being the height that the mountains are right now. So that's a thing. And then moving to the mountain section, we are going to build mountains kind of over the door. The way that's actually going to have to be done is by putting them on the base plates that sit directly behind this, because you guys will see we basically built up the mountains up to the very edge of the base plate. So there's no way we could continue building further back without having it kind of go over where the base plate stops, and that would interfere with what's behind it. So we decided it would just make most sense to just kind of build the mountains behind this. So that's kind of how that's going to go. But the door is definitely going to get taller, and it'll look a lot better. And I know a lot of people were wondering what's going on with the middle of the door. So if you remember at the convention, I just had a bunch of plates just kind of sitting sloped along that door in the middle to cover up that big hole. And the point behind that is actually we let that section out specifically so we could put a lot of greebling. Like if you guys look at reference photos from Crait, you'll notice that there's a lot of greebling going down the middle of the door, and we wanted to, you know, not just have the store be a solid block of slopes. We wanted to have some details in it. No, it's not the easiest thing to do when you're using slopes like these, because obviously there are no studs on the outside to connect things to, but we felt that we could at least replicate the section that goes down the very middle, where there's a lot of greebling and pipes that goes down it. So we haven't quite come up with a technique for what we want to do for that, because getting like dark tan pipes would actually be kind of problematic. So we'll probably end up doing like a dark gray section down the middle with like pipes and such. Maybe throw in some dark tan as well to kind of make it all blend together pretty well. But that is something that I'm not super concerned with right now. Right now I'm more concerned with just getting this door a little bit taller. So I have bought more slopes for the door. I didn't anticipate having to do that, but I ended up having to do it. And the door is actually going to end up being quite bigger, which is nice because I feel that right now, like, I'm really happy with the way that it looks, especially with the beveled look at the very bottom, the slopes that kind of go inward, but it definitely does need to be quite a bit taller. So anyone concerned about this whole section right here, don't worry. The door will get taller. I'd say the mountains will get slightly taller, and we'll see how it goes from there. So let's go ahead and move around. And here is the actual cave section so far. I've completed 4 of the base plates that are going to be back here. There's actually going to be 8 total, so I've effectively done half of them. You can imagine that there's going to be basically 1 here, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. So it'll be a 2x4 rectangle of of gray 48 by 48 base plates. So we have quite a bit of space to work with, which is actually very nice. It's kind of cool seeing this all form together, just because I'm starting to visualize like where certain rooms are going to go. I know a few episodes back I showed you guys the schematic that we came up with, and if you don't remember that, then the general idea is going to be that the main command room is going to be right here on the very corner, so it'll be open from the side. You'll be able to see into it, and this is basically the room where all the like lead resistance officials are going to be sitting. This is where Leia would have been sitting whenever she met up with Luke. And then it's also the room where I believe it's the room where like they basically set up base. So this is kind of going to be where that main room is, and you can see I have some of the main characters and another very important character kind of chilling in that general area. And then also the cool thing is that we're going to add basically a little tunnel section kind of right here. So you imagine, you know, Leia would be kind of sitting somewhere in this room, and then Luke obviously like walks directly into that room. So to kind of replicate that scene, we're going to have basically somewhat of like a mountain area on this side, but then there's going to be a tunnel, and there's going to be basically a Luke figure kind of walking through and coming into this room where all of the resistance peeps are. So I think that'll actually work out pretty well. And then as for the other areas, you can imagine the First Order shuttles kind of going to be parked right here. It'll be mostly destroyed, but that'll be right here. The Resistance shuttle is going to be on the other side over there. I'm still not really sure what room we're going to put on that other side. I kind of have a few ideas, including one special room that we're definitely going to add that will essentially end up being a tribute to all the fans of this build series. So I think you guys are really going to appreciate that, but that's going to be kept under wraps in the meantime. But one of the cool things I did add was, I'm sure you guys saw in the thumbnail, the scene of Kylo Ren walking in with his snowtroopers, which is kind of funny because this is the first time I've ever actually placed Kylo Ren on this MOC, which is surprising. But, you know, he, right, as up to this point, he, you know, wasn't in the battle scene that we had set up. But I thought it was appropriate to finally give Kylo his proper introduction to the Crait MOC. So there he is, and you guys also can see the functionality of that pop-out section right there. That's not going to be there for the first day. That's kind of meant to replicate the big hole that's blasted into the door. You can kind of see where the rocks are, or not really rocks, but like kind of the rubble on the inside of the door has formed, and that's where Kylo's going to make his entrance at the very end of the movie. So thought that was pretty cool as well. Also set up some resistance troops and Voltexes. One thing I realized is that these Voltexes are such a pain to place inside of here, just because it's all studs and it's not tiles like where the salt is outside, but I've realized the optimal positions to kind of place them diagonal, so I'm going to have to remember that and also be very careful not to be bumping into the MOC whenever we get this thing all set up. So, like I said, I know it's not a ton of progress, it's mainly just a ground, but I think it's a pretty good idea of what this MOC is going to look like moving forward. It's pretty cool to finally be starting the ground sections just to know what kind of space we're going to be working with, and you can imagine there's going to be tons of like pillars growing up from the ground to the roof area that will kind of help brace the like roof area of the MOC, because this thing is going to go up pretty high and it's not going to be solid. It's obviously going to be very open back here. There's going to be basically a giant hole kind of on this side of the MOC where you can peer in and see the entirety of the mountains and base area. But one of the cool things I did want to mention before I close out the video is we're actually planning on adding one of the hangars that the ski speeders would be going out of. So if you guys remember from the movie, the ski speeders basically go out of a hatch at the top of the door. So we're actually going to try to replicate that. Our general idea right now is on the outside there will be a door. You can open it up and you'll be able to see into the hangar. But on the inside you'll actually be able to see the hangar, and it's basically just kind of going to sit like right here in this general area. And it'll, you know, just there'll be maybe like a rusted out ski speeder or a parked one, or one, you know, getting ready to fly out onto the battle. So I think that's actually going to work out pretty freaking cool. So that's really all I got for you guys this week. I'm going to go ahead and go to the end of the video. And that's going to finish up the video this week, guys. I'm super excited to finally be starting those cave sections. I think that laying the groundwork is actually nice just to see kind of the spacing we're going to have. Initially, my plan was to actually do 2 of those resistance transports. However, the more and more I think about it, I feel that it's going to kind of clutter the area, and having a second one of those transports there, since the ship isn't like the most memorable thing in the movie, it wouldn't really add too much by having a second one. So I think I'm just going to do one of those transports. I'm still going to add in the First Order shuttle on the other side with the broken wings, kind of replicate the scene where Finn and Rose both fly into the base. So that'll be something definitely to look forward to. And we're going to start working on the cave sections next week, guys. I don't have a schedule for the live streams yet, but rest be assured we will be back on doing live streams, voting in front of you guys, taking questions, having guests on, all that good stuff once this kind of crazy convention schedule is over with. We do have an off weekend next week, and then we'll be going to Brick World Chicago the week after that. So that means that we're going to have a little bit of time to just focus really on the MOC, and we won't have to worry about going out of town or preparing things to be traveling. So I actually got to get ready and go to California. Hopefully it'll be a great time, as it always is. It's definitely my favorite convention that I go to every single year because it's all Star Wars. So I'll definitely try to post some updates while I'm there, maybe do a vlog type of thing showing you guys the creations there, as well as some of the 501st characters who walk around. It's actually pretty dope that they go all out for this convention. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and as I always say, if you like what I do, go ahead, support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, and I'll be back again very soon. Have a great day, guys.